What is up, everybody? Today is going to be a very fun video. Who is more promiscuous, men or women? Thank you for clicking on this video. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy the content. Please note that the following is very oversimplified. The story may vary depending on which evolutionary biologist you ask. I am not one, but this is basically the consensus I came to by reading a bunch of evolutionary biology books, and this is my own interpretation. So men cheat more, and here is why. Who has to bear most of the effort when it comes to having a child? Who has to take on more risk when it comes to being pregnant? Well, it's obviously the woman. She has to feed two people for 9 months. She has to put herself at risk from predators because she has less mobility. Remember, we are speaking from an evolutionary standpoint. Childbirth historically is a very dangerous thing and has led to extreme numbers of mothers dying during childbirth. So it is very costly for a woman to get pregnant. Now, on top of this, is that she only has a limited number of eggs in her lifetime, while the male has a somewhat uncapped amount of sperm. So this gives her all the more reason to be more cautious when picking or selecting a mate. On the other hand, it's almost of no cost to the male to reproduce. One might even say that it is very cheap and easy for them to spread their seed. This is basically the reason why men are more prone to infidelity. To talk a bit more on this subject, this is also why women are so picky when it comes to their mates, because they only choose mates of the same or higher status. Because remember, it's very costly for them to reproduce, while men, on the other hand, don't really care much about who is willing to bear their child, because it doesn't cost that much. This is normally why we see polygyny arise in history and through our evolutionary past. Men will often duel amongst themselves to see who is the top dog, and he will then subsequently win all the females, because it is much better for all the females to breed with the top male, ensuring they get the best genes, and the male basically gets his gene potential maximized. But now you might ask, you just pointed out that polygyny is the best case scenario for the species, so why are we monogamous? Well, there is some speculation and theories regarding this. One of them that I am quite fond of is this one. So our human body, compared to our head size, is quite big, and this causes a lot of problems when it comes to childbirth. So what happened was that the women that kept their pregnancy, meaning that the child was fully developed, died because the baby's head was simply too big and the mother couldn't give birth to it. And the women that gave birth prematurely survived and carried their genes into the future. But this came with another problem. The cake wasn't done baking yet. The child wasn't done developing. So the mother had to now look after the child until the child was less dependent on the mother. So this meant that the mother, now looking after the child the whole time, could no longer search and look for food and was handicapped when it came to avoiding predators. So women devised a plan. Have you ever noticed that most of the animals have breeding seasons? And it's only in this short period of time when there is intercourse. And human beings, to the contrary, have no such period. Rather, our period is year-round. Now, we speculate that women gave man this as a benefit to stay with them and to help rear the young. She gets protection and food, while man gets unlimited sex and the opportunity to help raise their genes into adulthood. So the next question is, why are men seen as studs when they have a lot of women, but women are... Yes, they are not seen as favorably. It comes down to trustworthiness. No matter how much you trust your wife, you can never be sure that that child is yours. You can only have your wife's word for it. While your wife is 100% sure it's her child and her genes because the child literally came out of her. So when a woman sleeps around with a lot of men, it hurts her trustworthiness amongst other males, because if they do copulate with her, they aren't really sure that that child is their genes. While on the other hand, if men sleep around, it shows that a lot of females desire their genes. And if every girl sees something in this man, there must be something good about his genes. Because remember, women only choose across and up hierarchies. And that is why we see male and female promiscuity differently. So now you know a bit more about why we mate the way we do and why different sexes act differently in relationships.